I think that's kind of where I'm at right now with blockchain consulting. So I tell people I do blockchain consulting, and I do have different verticals where I help people portfolio structuring, restructuring. I think I'm the new form of financial advisor, and the people who don't know how to use the technology or aren't embracing the technology are going to be left behind.
This is the Mooncast.
See you, Space Cowboy.
Can you introduce yourself a little bit to the audience, let them know who you are and what you're about?
Yeah. My name is Vlad Lapich. I run a video production company called LV Productions.
Mm-hmm.
We are based out of San Francisco and Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And I also run a AI startup called Easy Sales AI, which is a software for doing cold outreach
Mm-hmm.
and writing cold emails. AI is AI email generation software. I got into video production about 5, 6 years ago. I used to do photography and I bought a video camera, Sony A7 III, and I decided, okay, there's so many photographers around here. It's really hard to make money in photography. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do something different. I'm gonna start doing videography. And I used to live in San Francisco back then, and I started just reaching out to a bunch of local businesses like restaurants, car dealerships, tattoo artists, and telling them, hey, I can make you cool videos for free. And I started doing that to build portfolio. I would
Mm.
post my stuff on Instagram. And then I would do this for like a year. Then I joined a couple of video production companies in San Francisco. And then one startup noticed me. It was a fintech startup called Fast.
Mm.
And dude reached out to me on Instagram and he was like, hey, I'm starting this new company and I need a videographer to film stuff for me. At first, I thought it was a scam because who the hell hires through Instagram? But then I went on Indeed and I saw this the posting from the same guy there, and
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to him again, and he hired me. And that company, that fintech company, ended up growing from like 3 people in a basement to 300 people all around the world. They raised $120 million, maybe even more. And after like 2 years there, other companies, other startups, they saw the videos I was making for this company, and they started to ask me, hey, can you make a video for us, and so on. And this is when I started doing this as a business.
Mm.
um, this is when I started an actual LLC and a video production company. But then I ran into the issue. I didn't know how to get any more clients,
Mm.
and I started doing cold email outreach. And this is also when not ChatGPT, but GPT-3 came out.
Yeah.
And I decided, well, I'm gonna try and use it for cold email outreach. So I built this tool that would write emails as if I personally wrote it. So
Yeah.
it would go on someone's LinkedIn, it would research them, it would say something like, "Hey, I saw you were on this podcast. I love it. By the way, I run a video production company. Let's chat sometime." And yeah, this is how I started booking lots of calls. I would get like 10 calls per week from doing that.
Ho-
And here we are now. I do these things still.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Like, how old are you?
25.
Damn. Okay, so when you started the startup, how old were you then? Or not started the startup, but when you were part of that startup, how old were you then?
Let's see. That was 3 years ago. Wait, right now it's 2023. That was in 19. So I was 21.
Yeah. So the reason I asked is because a lot of people think that you can't start entrepreneurship early.
Mhm.
And that's a big misconception because I think actually the earlier you start, the better you'll be because you compound that experience over time
Yeah.
and you learn and you're able to fall fast and land on your 2 feet, and then you have more time because and you have more margin for error.
Yeah.
So like when you're older, you have less margin for error, so you could take less risk
Yeah.
because you typically end up having more responsibilities, more overhead, maybe have a kid, maybe have a girl, maybe have a wife, whatever. And so, yeah, it's good to see that you were able to take that jump. And your journey is very, it's not really similar to mine's, but like the idea of working for free first,
Mhm.
a lot of people don't like that idea, and understanding you need to build out a portfolio,
Yeah,
showcase that, you have the actual skills, and then from there, you can leverage that portfolio to then actually charging clients. So I
yeah.
think it was really, really good strategy that you used. And I wanted to ask you about the startup. How was that experience for you in particular working in a startup? Like, what would you say is the differences and nuances between working for a startup versus working for a regular like 9 to 5 like corporate or something like that? I don't know if you work corporate, but
I worked 9 to 5 in a restaurant. I never worked corporate jobs.
yeah,
There's obviously upsides and downsides of working for a startup. The good things is that you get to learn a lot, because you get to do a lot of different things. When
yeah,
I joined that company as a videographer, they pretty much told me, okay, you're a videographer, but you're also going to run our social media and our paid ads
hmm,
and pretty much whatever marketing needs we have until we hire a marketer.
yeah,
And so I was doing that. I got to manage budgets that I've never seen in my life before, but I learned how to do that.
yeah,
This is better than buying some course online on how to run a marketing campaign on Google. This is way
yeah,
better.
yeah,
The downsides, though, is you don't know how long this startup is going to last for, because you probably know that I think it's 1 out of 100 succeed and 99% of them fail. And that one was not exception. It also failed in 2 years.
mm,
But yeah, it's just you have to, when you join a startup, you have to enjoy this time. You have to learn as much as you can, but don't expect that this is going to make you rich. Uh,
yeah.
it's probably not.
Yeah, what would you say? Because when you talk about success and failure, what would you consider a failure with a startup versus like a success?
Um, a success is when the company either goes public or, let's say, reaches profitability. Not big revenue, profitability.
Yeah,
Failure, well, in that case, they just ran out of money. They
yeah,
raised 120 million and they ran out of money. Um, but different startups have different types of failures. Some of them run out of money. Some of them just the product doesn't sell,
yeah,
um, and so on.
yeah. You mentioned easy sales. We're gonna get to easy sales, Kyle. I want to ask you about that. But before we do, I wanted to a little bit pivot and talk a little bit more about marketing
Yeah.
because you said that you were able to build up the skill set for marketing. So, are you familiar with like the Google ads, the Facebook ads? Like, what niche are you really in? More social media? What were you actually doing?
I'm familiar with Google Ads, Facebook Ads, SEO.
Hmm.
Um, I don't personally do Google Ads and Facebook Ads for my video production business because I think, well, Facebook Ads is more for consumer facing brands. It's not really good for B2B. Um, Google Ads is good for B2B, but it's insanely expensive for my niche, so I'm not doing that. And
Hmm.
SEO is just perfect, but SEO takes time.
Yeah.
So it lands the best area ROI out of all other marketing methods.
For your particular niche, or you just say overall?
For my particular niche and for B2B, as far as I know, because I'm talking to other marketers and other startups out there, and everybody is saying B2B is the best.
Yeah.
Sorry, SEO is the best for B2B.
Yeah, SEO. Yeah, it makes sense. So you're not familiar so much with like regular just marketing on TikTok and
I mean, I use TikTok, but I don't know much about marketing on it.
yeah. What about any other social media like YouTube or like LinkedIn?
No, no, I
No.
don't do that.
Yeah.
I have a friend who runs a TikTok marketing agency, and he, for example, works with Webflow. He runs their TikTok account,
Hmm.
and it's as far as I know, what he told me, it's all about hopping on trends.
Yeah.
So you just need to be scrolling through TikTok. You see something funny or popular, you need to replicate it,
Yeah.
and apply it to your business, apply it to your use case.
So it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort on the app.
Yeah, the hardest part is creativity in that case.
Yeah. Yeah, and are you have you gotten into any Web3 sort of because for your company, are you doing anything with Web3?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, so it's just mainly Web2 businesses that you help with video production and everything.
Yeah, I do have two Web3 businesses that I did videos for,
Yeah.
but the majority is Web2.
How was that experience like with the Web3 businesses?
It's great. I love that they're all really creative people,
Yeah.
and they're just very forward thinking.
Yeah. Is the video production style unique on a case to case basis? Like, do you do graphics mainly, or what are you mainly focused on?
We do full service production, so we do both animation and live action filming.
Hmm.
I would say about 50% of the videos we do is animation and 3D animation.
Okay. Okay. So, what do you prefer?
I don't have a preference.
Yeah.
I'm all about being creative. You know, if it's a fun project to work on, then I don't care if it's animated or live action.
Okay. Okay. And what do you get the most request for?
Probably animation. Yeah,
Animation.
yeah.
Okay.
But the main reason for that, I think, is because it's more cost effective than live action filming. For
Okay.
example, a TV commercial, um, if you want to do live action filming, it might cost you like, let's say 100K.
Yeah.
At the same time, a 3D animated video for a product for a TV commercial will cost you about 30, 40K.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
main reason is cost here.
Yeah. And your go-to market is mainly people in LA, or where's your go-to?
We work with everyone in the United States. Um, Pretty much any consumer or B2B brand is our target customer.
Okay. Okay. Because your company is in LA, right?
It's in LA, yeah. We so I live in LA. I have a team here. I also have a team in San Francisco because I used to live there.
Yeah.
But we have clients all over the United States. And we also have clients from other parts of the world. So when it comes to animation, we have clients from China, from Dubai. Um, yeah, I think these are the only two international things we're working with.
But how do you reach out to them, or do they just come and find you?
I don't reach out to them. They reach out to me.
Oh
If
wow.
it's international, they usually just find me on Google.
Oh wow. That's interesting. And how's the taxes over there in LA, man?
Part of the taxes, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really bad. Where do you live?
Yeah, well, currently right now I live in Bulgaria.
Uh-huh.
But I'm in New York right now visiting family.
Got
So
it.
yeah, for me, I mean, because the corporate tax is 10% in Bulgaria. So, but I'm making another startup now.
Uh-huh.
I just got pre-seed funding for, and it's a project using language learning modules
Yeah,
to basically transfer audiobooks and podcasts into ebooks into newsletters, so people can repurpose that as another monetization vehicle.
yeah.
And yeah, so that company's going to be structured actually in London. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of all over the place, to
Got
be
it.
honest with you. Yeah, but I mean, the taxes in LA. I mean, it's I think I've heard a lot of people are moving out, but I don't know. Maybe you could speak to that more than
Um,
me.
I'm probably I run an LLC, so I'm probably paying around 35% of taxes.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's in total. That's including state and
That's
federal.
in total. So that's state tax plus federal tax.
Oh wow.
But in Florida, for example, I would be paying around 15% total probably because they
Oh.
don't have the state tax.
What's the cost of living like?
In LA,
Yeah.
I mean it's expensive. I spend probably around 8K a month here.
Oh wow. Okay. So and that's just you as an individual.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So you need to be making at least 10K per month to be living decent.
yeah, it's really
Okay.
expensive.
Yeah.
But in San Francisco, it was even I mean,
Re-
worse. In LA, at least, I don't know if you've heard of this thing called California tax. It's like you pay for living in California because you're next to the ocean, because they have good weather. you know, all that. In San Francisco, it costs even more to live, but you don't get any of that. You can't go just to the beach because it's always foggy and rainy. You don't get good weather there. So you're still paying California tax in San Francisco, but you don't get any of the good stuff that California offers.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Because I heard a lot of people are moving over to Miami.
Mhm.
Um, is that becoming the new tech hub per se, or?
Uh, I don't think so. Miami is people are moving to Miami because of lower taxes.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of people who moved to Miami, lived there for a year, and then came back to California because there's nothing to do besides partying. In California, you can go hiking, you can,
Yeah.
sightseeing, so many different things to do. But in Miami, it's just partying. That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
if I went there, I would get bored after a month.
Wow. So wait, are you a U.S. citizen? Like, did you grow up in the U.S. or?
No, no, no. I moved here about 6 years ago.
Ah,
I'm from
okay.
Belarus originally. It's in Eastern Europe.
Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah. So you're familiar then with Bulgaria.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Nice, man.
How,
Nice.
how did you how did you end up in Bulgaria?
So I was actually living in Germany for about 5 years, and then I wanted to switch over to being a full-time entrepreneur, and
Mhm.
I looked at the German taxes, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, and so I started looking and seeing where the low tax havens were
Mhm.
in Europe, and so and by really good weather. So I wanted something by really good weather and low tax haven. So I was like, okay, Bulgaria seems cool. Black Sea, 10% corporate tax. Let me go check it out. And I went over there the first time and I fell in love with it. I loved it.
Mhm.
Exactly what I needed. Chill, no distractions, 10% corporate tax, by the beach, slow pace lifestyle. Um, Cost of living is really low, so I can redistribute a lot more money back into my business and back into my investment portfolio. So it made perfect sense for me to move to Bulgaria, and it was pretty smooth to immigrate there, too, as well. So those are the reasons why I end up relocating there. But I'm probably not going to stay there too long term because I plan to potentially maybe restructure in El Salvador, due to the nature of my business because I am in the Web3 space, and
Mhm.
currently right now they have 0% tax for tech companies, um, which is great. So it's another location I'm looking to look into. I haven't visited yet, but I'm going next year with my business partner to go check it out.
Got
But
it.
yeah, I really love Eastern Europe though. It's
Yeah.
super nice. Yeah.
I've heard that after COVID, some countries in South America do this thing where if you make more than 2K a month, they'll give you pretty much a visa, like a work, not a working visa, but a nomad visa, I think they call it.
Yeah.
And you can just go there. You don't need to pay any taxes. You just need to live there, and they benefit by you living there and spending the money you make abroad, because you spend it in their country. They're
Hmm.
profiting from that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's different sort of strategies that different countries are using and leveraging now currently, to get more foreign direct investment into the country, due to the fact that a lot of these countries aren't producing so much. So,
Yeah.
and also if you look at the population, so the cohorts are starting to shift, right? Especially specifically in the West, where you have more of an aging population, so you have less people in the labor force or the workforce, and so there's a gap in regards to demand, right?
Mhm.
There's a surplus in demand of highly skilled workers, and so how do you attract these highly skilled workers, especially in the STEM fields, and if you look at even in the medical field, which is in high demand because you have more people that are aging, so more
Yeah.
people need to go to the hospital. So I know in Germany, for instance, they were letting people in Germany that were in that medical arena or vertical, just
Mhm.
due to the fact that they were in that field and they didn't even care if you knew German or not, and
Yeah.
they're just allowing people to immigrate there. So I think also that's why artificial intelligence, which we're going to shift over to in a little bit, is so prevalent because it a little bit subsidizes that surplus in the labor force, because there's literally a gap that's starting to happen and starting to get wider and wider of the demand for highly skilled workers in the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematical, and either one, you could subsidize it by getting foreign direct investment or getting immigrants to come, highly skilled immigrants to come, through these sort of CBI programs, like citizenship by investment programs, or permanent residency programs, digital nomad programs, or you can maybe subsidize that through artificial intelligence, which I think is the other route in which they're taking currently right now. And whether that will work or not, I'm not entirely sure, because I still think it's very much in early stages. What I'm developing something, you've already developed something, which actually we can talk about a bit more with Easy Sales. Super interesting project. Why did you decide to start it? And how's the basically walk me through the entire process of why you decided to start it. How was it in terms of the development, and all the different challenges that you faced over that course of that time?
So, have you heard of the company called Copy AI?
Yes.
So, when Copy AI just started,
Mhm.
before it became super popular on Twitter,
Yeah.
the founder of that company reached out to me on Twitter, and he asked me if I can help him make a video for his product.
Mm.
And this is when I found he told me about this AI called OpenAI ChatGPT 3. It
Mhm.
wasn't Chat back then; it was just GPT 3.
Yeah.
And he he explained to me how it works, and I
Mhm.
checked out his product. I saw he has this feature to write cold emails. You
Yeah.
could write a cold email template with their product. It was pretty cool, but this is not how I would write cold emails, because when you write a cold email, you want to personalize it as much as possible to the person you're sending it to.
Yes.
So if I was sending it, let's say to Elon Musk, I would say something like, "Hey Elon, I saw your recent interview with, I don't know, for example, TechCrunch. I love how you talked about this and that." And then I would get into introducing myself and, stating my offer. So you first have to kind of, you need to give them a reason to even read through the rest of your email.
Yeah.
Because the way people usually read cold emails, they see that it says something like, "Oh, hey, my name is Vlad. I'm selling this and that." Just
Yeah.
go straight to spam.
Exactly.
And the way it should actually work is you have to, either make a compliment or mention something very specific about this person that you're sending this email to,
Yeah.
and then they'll actually read it. And I looked at how Copy AI did this feature to write cold emails. I decided, okay, it's not supposed to work like this. The way it's supposed to work is this AI should look on the social media profiles of the person you're sending this email to. You
Mhm.
should It should look on the news about this person, and then it should take these data points and it should write an email based on that.
Yeah.
Uh, because the way I would usually write cold emails, I would just do it manually. I wouldn't use AI for it, and I would Google about this person and then write an email. Each email would take me about 10 minutes to write.
Yeah.
And then when I created this AI, when I started testing it, I think I wrote like 100 emails. I paid OpenAI like $5 for it to use their AI to write these 100 emails, and each of them looked like I personally wrote it. Each of them started with a personalization or a compliment, and then went to explaining who I am and what I want to offer them. These were great looking emails, and each of them also took about 5 seconds to write.
Hmm.
So I instead of writing every email, every instead of writing 10, taking 10 minutes to write, these emails take 5 seconds to write, and then I started sending them, and I think I got about 10 positive responses.
Out of
So
100.
out of 100, yeah, out of
That's a
100.
really good conversion.
Yeah, it's insane because usually the conversion on cold emails is like 0.1%. Right now, it's probably even less.
Mhm.
But back then it was like 10%,
Yeah.
10% response rate. And yeah, I just started blasting out these emails. My calendar was completely filled with meetings with different CEOs and CMOs of different companies.
Mhm.
Everybody wanted to talk to me. People like literally I remember when I first closed the client from using the software, the guy said, "Hey, I get hundreds of emails from different video production companies." It was a CMO of some tech company. He said, "Hey, I get hundreds of emails from different video production companies. The only reason I responded to you is because you actually looked into what our company does and how our product works." I actually didn't. The AI did, and
Wow.
the AI wrote that email. and I
Yeah.
only had to take a look at his company after he responded. So this is when I realized how crazy this product is going to be for salespeople,
Mm.
and I just decided to invest some money in it, some of my personal money, and build it into a standalone product.
Hey bro, I'm just trolling is something that will not just challenge your perspective, but also touch your heart and soul. It's a book that defies convention, blending art and literature into a thought-provoking masterpiece. A reflective piece of provocative art that tackles societal constructs from angles you've never considered. Hey bro, I'm just trolling delves into the very essence of our existence. It questions the technology that surrounds us, challenges our notions of beauty, stares unflinchingly into the eyes of death, and questions the boundaries of freedom. It scrutinized the educational system that molds our very future. This book is a journey, an exploration of shared human experience, and it's a work of art that refuses to be confined by tradition. It's a canvas painted with words, a melody of thought, and a testament to the power of creativity in a world dominated by algorithms and data. Visit moonboycapitalventures.com and get your hands on Hey Bro, I'm Just Trolling today. It's not just a book, it's a movement. Now let's jump back into the show.
Yeah.
And the only issue is that I've never built a software product before. So
Yeah.
this prototype that I built, it was in Google Sheets, and it was using Google App Scripts. But building a whole web app with front end and back end is a completely different story. And so it took me 2 years to build, which is really long time.
Mm.
Um, and by the time I built it, there was already like 10 other companies that do the same exact thing, and they would actually do it better than me. And because they built their products earlier than me, they already took
First
the,
mover advantage.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, right now, the state of this product is, it's still there, it still works, but I'm not pushing it to the masses anymore like I was before, because there's a lot of other companies that do this better than I did, because
Mm.
they have, bigger engineer base.
Yeah.
For example, have you heard of Outreach or Salesforce?
Yes. Salesforce, of course.
Salesforce, about half a year ago, I think, they created this exact feature.
Hmm.
So they pretty much took my product and made just a feature out of it.
Wow.
So now, if you're paying for Salesforce, you can just write AI emails in one click too. So the product kind of faded away because it was too late, and I'm still using it for myself,
Mm.
but I'm not like marketing it for other people to use it.
Does the product also entail yours, or even the ones that are in the market right now? Do they even have a way in which you can also streamline the process to capture what would be potentially considered warm leads for you too, as well, in terms of email addresses, or do you have to get those email addresses and then funnel them to the actual LLM?
There's different types of products. Some of them do capture the email addresses. So the way my product works is, it has three parts in it. The first part is LinkedIn scraper. The second part is email search, and the third part is the AI email writer.
Mm.
So first, you go on LinkedIn on Sales Navigator, you select the filters that you need. For example, I'm targeting CMOs in the United States of tech companies, and it will show you like 10,000 people. You click scrape, it exports all of them. Then the second part, it finds their phone numbers and email addresses.
Hmm.
And then the third part, you tell the software about what you're selling, and it will write a completely personalized email to each of the CMOs. And then you get a list at the end of like 10,000 people that you just need to upload in your email outreach, or similar type of software like Mailchimp, and it will send them out all. And then you just need to collect the leads, like the warm leads.
That's freaking amazing, man. Yeah, it's crazy how fast this space is going in terms of just I call it the exponential growth phase of technological advancement.
Yeah.
And I consider this we're in the digital renaissance era, and I have a theory that because I'm writing this blog. I had to postpone it because I've been so busy with my two companies I'm running, and then I'm board of directors of another company. So it's just been a pretty hectic for me. But I started writing this blog called The Great Squeeze, and I was
Mhm.
talking about like how we're in this digital renaissance era, and I think we're transferring from, because back in the days you could only really truly extract resources, make money from capital
Yeah.
or labor, and those are like the two main ways, like physical labor or through capital, right? And now I think we're transitioning into the era of content and code.
Yeah.
And I think that those who are able to, for instance, leverage the code, or those who can build new code and new products, are going to win.
Yeah.
And those who can leverage other people's platforms, like for instance, you're on my platform now, and those who can create their own content platform
Mhm.
are going to also win too as well. And I think that this I don't want to call it a free money train, because it is difficult too as well still to be able to produce something from thin air and monetize it online.
Yeah.
But I would say that this is the best era, I believe, that we are currently in, that has ever existed in human history to make money.
Yeah.
um because it's so early that even me, sometimes I get surprised that I get the sort of people I get, the guests I get on my podcast, even, or the clients and leads I'm able to get from my business. I'm like, wow, we are super early. Like, I'm really, really early first mover into this space. I remember when I was about roughly 2011. Because I'm a little bit older than you, because I'm 30.
Mhm.
So in 2011, I was in university before I joined the army, and this guy came up to me. He's like, dude, I got this crazy idea, this startup that I'm about to blow up, and I'm gonna create this social media marketing agency. And I was like, dude, that's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Everyone can post content by themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get it. He's talking to me about the algorithms and all this blah 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 and all this stuff, and I was just like, I just wasn't getting it at the time, because I was just so young. And I was a basketball player for the school,
Mhm.
in the university, and I was just like, bro. He's like, yo, you gotta hop on board. You want to be part of the startup. I didn't listen to him at all. And now in hindsight, looking at it, I'm like, man, that guy's probably like a super millionaire, because he was super early, first mover. He knew exactly what was happening. He knew the wave was going to be content. And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now with blockchain consulting. So I tell people I do blockchain consulting, and I do have different verticals where I help people portfolio structuring, restructuring. I think I'm the new form of financial advisor, you know,
Yeah.
and also if I also help projects get funding too as well. That's another vertical that I help with as well. So I think that people haven't caught on to finance is shifting, and there's a new layer that's being built on the internet with AI, with blockchain technology. You got virtual reality, metaverse, augmented reality, robotics, all coming literally at the same time.
Yeah.
We've never had this much technological advancements at the same time. That's why I call it the exponential growth phase.
It was the closest was probably in the 20s and 30s. Wait, was the Industrial Revolution in the 20s or when? I don't remember.
It was the 1920s, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So this is when most of the modern age technologies were created.
yeah,
And I feel like right now the same thing is happening, but with AI.
yeah.
A lot of things are going to change about how people go about work and so on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of things are going to be automated for sure, and there's still going to be jobs. I think people are getting a little bit scared, but I think
Yeah.
what's just going to happen is the people who know how to use the technology, who've leveraged it, who are building things, they're going to have the advantage because they're going to have the skills to be able to manage the technology, tweak the technology, improve the technology. And the people who don't know how to use the technology or aren't embracing the technology are going to be left behind. And I think
Exactly.
that's exactly what's going to happen. The jobs are just going to pivot, and you already see it. They got prompt engineer job postings already that people are
Yeah.
paying ridiculous amount. Do you think that it's worth that much to be a prompt engineer?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm like, are they trolling like with the 6 figs paycheck? Like, I'm
I think
like,
a 14-year-old can be a prompt engineer as long as he knows how to type.
yeah, I just didn't understand it. Like, because I was like, okay, I mean, I know how to prompt something and tweak something, and I'm sure that anyone. It's not a really huge skill set. I feel like maybe they were just trolling, or maybe they're just using that as a marketing ploy, and that's not really the amount that they want to. Because I'm looking online, I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's not considered an engineer in software if you don't know how to code. I don't think you're an engineer if you don't know how to code.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. But I think also coding is going to be, if you look at what's this one platform? I think it's called Bumble. No, not
Bubble. I think Bubble.
Yeah. There's this, what I'm talking about, the software that streamlines the process for you to be able to create
Yeah.
SaaS. Yeah. So you have products like that, and look at them now and how efficient they are. Think about 3, 4, 5 years from now, as they scale up product line production efficiency. Lean Six Sigma.
Yeah.
It's going to get in. I think people don't understand how crazy this is going to get, and also I think content is more important than ever now, because if you look at the aspects of how things are currently, well, we have all this open source code. Like if you look at the blockchain industry, you look at the AI industry, you can easily fork the code and rebrand it. So you can have basically kids that are in the middle of, I don't know, Congo or wherever, being able to just have access to internet, fork code and copy and paste and rebrand the business model immediately, because the codes are open source. So
Yeah.
the only thing that's going to separate your product from another, for me, in my opinion, is content. Who can because I think content is the best form of marketing currently.
Yeah.
People want content, and we're in this phase of excessive content, where there's so much, there's overabundance of content. So I think content is going to be probably a huge outlier, I think, in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. Because even if you look at the aspect of how many people are on the internet now, there's roughly around like 5 billion people on the internet now, and that number is supposed to increase by 2030 to like around 90 to 95% of the people on the internet.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a bigger pie of people getting on the internet, and with that pie, they're going to be looking for content. So people who have compounded authority earlier, like 7, 6, 5, 8 years earlier, they're going to have a more authoritative sort of positioning within the market, as opposed to someone who just started putting out content in 2030.
Yeah.
And this is, once I realized all of this, is when I started pushing out content, because actually I'm new into pushing out content and being online. I actually protected my digital anonymity for almost 10 years. I just got back online last year in Q4. So yeah, man.
Why did you decide to do that?
A couple of reasons. One, so I'll tell you a quick story. So this was the main reason, to be completely honest and to be fully transparent. So I was on Twitter and in Instagram, and back in 2014. So it's almost been 10 years, like 9 years or some change, since I got back on late last year.
Mhm.
And I posted a picture on Instagram, and this is early days Instagram. This is like, I don't even know if you were on Instagram back then, because you're a little bit younger than me. So this is like 2000. Yeah. So I don't know if you were on, or if you just started getting on. But so I posted this picture, and it didn't get enough likes, and I immediately deleted it. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? What is happening? I'm starting to value the digital space more than real life. And once I saw that was happening to me, and I was starting to seek validation digitally, I immediately just deleted everything that day.
Mhm.
And I never went back. And I was like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to enjoy my life. I was traveling the world, meeting new people, building skills, working on my communication skills as well, which led me to be able to start doing podcasting, because I had only known how to talk to people in real life, because I wasn't on the internet. I didn't have any social media apps. I was only using my phone to text my family and friends, to meet up. And it also helped me too as well, dating women, because a lot of guys nowadays are struggling, I think, with that aspect too as well, in regards to communicating and talking to women in real life. They're using like Tinder and all these different other types of apps, and DMing. And for me, I don't even know where to start with that kind of stuff, because it's just like, for me, it's it's nuanced, because I'm still getting back on the internet. My girlfriend's helping me now getting back up to speed, because she does marketing too as well.
Mhm.
And so that was the reason that I got off. And the reason I got back on was because I read an article. And this article was talking about content, and it was talking about like the YouTube partnership program, and how much money people were making. And then I realized, oh my God, I've been missing out on the beginning stages of the digital renaissance. I was like, I got to get back online like yesterday, you know? So
Yeah.
I immediately started firing up a YouTube. I fired up a podcast. I fired up my LinkedIn, started posting content. Now I'm almost at, since I started my YouTube earlier this year, I'm almost at 2K subs on YouTube. My podcast, almost at 1,000 downloads. And then I just started this year too as well. And my LinkedIn is slowly approaching 1,000 followers too as well. So just been growing my content, and the most important thing is being able to catch warm leads organically.
Yep.
And that's the thing. And people think that
Have to be on
when you,
social media for that.
yeah, and you know the crazy thing is people think that you need to get a bunch of likes, and likes transitions to conversions, and it doesn't. You know, actually, you posting like I've posted content on my LinkedIn and been able to attract warm leads with 0 likes on the post. They'd be like, "Oh, I saw your post," to just DM me directly. You know, I saw your post. I'm interested in blah blah.
For me, it's the same on Twitter. I posted some videos, some of my works on Twitter about a month ago, and
Yeah,
I just randomly followed some guy on Twitter. He was some CMO, and he goes in my DMs and he sends me a message. Hey, saw the videos you were making for other companies. Can you please make one for us? And I was like, wow, I didn't even really, because the videos I posted, they had like 0 likes on them.
mm.
And this is another proof that you have to be on social media if you're trying to build a business today.
Yeah. I think. Do you think it's possible to build a business currently today without social media?
I think if you're targeting boomers, yes, but if you're trying to target the newer generations, then you have to have social media, because I personally go online if I need proof of something. For example, if I am trying to find out whether this business is good or not,
Yeah.
I will go on Google, I'll Google about it, I'll go on Yelp, I'll go on Facebook, I'll make sure they don't have any negative reviews, and only then I'll purchase from them.
Yeah.
Um, Older people probably don't do that, so you wouldn't have to run social media campaign if you're targeting older people. But if you're trying to target young people, then 100% you have to be on social media. Zoomers today, they use TikTok for finding information more than they use Google.
Yeah. I
I,
noticed that.
I started doing that too. When I try to find a new restaurant, I go on TikTok. I don't go on Google, because
Yeah.
on TikTok you can see the video, you can see it in action. On Google you can't. On Google you can only see what people write about it.
Yeah, and actually, that's another thing that I noticed too, because I'm currently dating a Zoomer now, and which was my girlfriend, because she goes on TikTok preferably than going on Google, and I was just like, well, that's interesting,
Yeah.
you know, like, and so you gotta pick up on these behavioral patterns and capitalize on them, you know, as you see them. As another thing too is I'm talking with my brothers, you know, they're younger too, they're Zoomers as well, and extracting information from them. It's like my form of like boots on ground market research, you know, is because I'm asking them, okay, what challenges are they facing? How are they seeing the landscape of stuff? Why do they do this? What is their behavioral patterns? Why are they behaving in such ways? How are they consuming the apps? How much time are they spending on the apps? I'm literally studying them, using them as like not really lab experiments, but you know, just so I can kind of get up to speed, because as you know, I have like a 10-year gap, literally, bro, not on the internet at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just now catching up to speed on everything. So for me, it's been a very, very interesting journey. And I know it might seem like kind of crazy. I'm kind of feel like I'm an outlier, because I haven't really met many people that kind of been on this kind of crazy journey as I have. And some people ask me too, they're like, bro, you literally were so against like technology, and like, you know, I call it like a technological minimalism, you
Mhm.
know. And to do a 180 the way I did, it's kind of unprecedented, you know, for the mindset I used to have, you know. But I realized that I'm gonna miss this wave. This is like when oil was discovered, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's insane, you know. But yeah, do you think that AI will be basically, you're gonna have to integrate it into your business at some point too as well? Do you think that's something that's like a for sure, like you're gonna have some integration into AI into your business at some point? It's gonna be unavoidable.
I didn't think so. It all depends on the business,
Yeah.
and I personally I prefer to integrate AI into my business.
Yeah.
I find AI really helpful. For
Yeah.
example, when I'm working on a video project, I need to come up with a storyboard, and AI is the best way to create the storyboard. Before AI, I would have to explain my thoughts and my vision to an artist, and then the artist would draw this. Now I just need to explain my thoughts and my vision to the neural network, and the neural network would draw this much faster, and I'll be able to iterate on it easier. So I choose to use AI for my business, but maybe there's some businesses that will say, oh, this is our thing, we didn't use AI. Just like some restaurants only serve organic food.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be similar to that. Maybe there will be some people who will say, oh, we don't want AI content for this and that reason. So they'll choose businesses that don't use AI at all.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that we'll live in a future in the not so distant of, okay, there's a whole bunch of people that maybe in this hypothetical situation can't adjust to the rapid change in the technological advancements and get left behind, and so the government decides to subsidize them in like a form of like UBI or something like that? Do you see something like that as is something in the not so distant future for us?
Yeah, 100%. I think this will happen because this happened before. Um, I remember I read somewhere that when the Industrial Revolution happened, all
Mm,
these people that learned how to work with their hands, that learned how to work manually,
mm,
they didn't know what to do.
yeah.
Because now all of their skills that they learned, they just became useless with the machine when the machines came. And eventually, I think they'll learn and adjust to the new market. But the ones who adjust to to the changes faster, they'll benefit more, and they'll find them in a better position, obviously.
Vlad, man, this has been great. I appreciate you so much, man. Like I gotta get you back on again, to do different topics and different discussions on stuff, man. I
Sounds
appreciate
good.
your time a lot. Where can people find you on the internet?
Um, I think they can find me on Twitter. I don't know how to if I can type here now.
Nah, nah, it's
Vlad,
fine. I'll leave links in the show notes. Don't worry.
yeah, sounds good. It's Vlad Lapich on Twitter. It's pretty easy to find, I think.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Do you have any closing thoughts before we go?
No, it was a great chat, and this is the first time on a podcast. It's fun. I love it,
Yeah.
and looking forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, Vlad. I appreciate you, man, for your time, man. Take care. This concludes another episode of the Mooncast, man, and peace.